All right, Explainer fam, let's talk LECPA. You know, partnership law is a beast, so today we are cracking the code on being a limited partner. This is your playbook for keeping your personal cash safe and absolutely crushing that exam.
So here's what we're going to cover. We'll look at the liability shield, how to actually form one of these things, the rules of the game, how to lose your shield, super important, and then a quick cheat sheet to wrap it all up.
All right, let's get right into it. The limited liability shield. Why does this even matter? Well, it's pretty much the main reason anyone becomes a limited partner in the first place. It's all about protecting your own stuff.
Okay, so what is a limited partnership? Think of it like a team. You need at least one general partner. That's your quarterback, the one running the plays. And then you have the limited partners. You guys are the investors. You put in the money or property, and in exchange, you get this awesome force field. Your risk, it's capped at whatever you invested. That's it. It's a genius way to get people to invest without them having to bet the farm, you know?
And here's where that force field really shines. Look at this difference. If you're a general partner and things go south, I mean really south, creditors can go after your car, your house, your sneaker collection, everything. But as a limited partner, nope. You might lose the money you put in, sure, but your personal assets are completely off limits. They're safe.
Okay, so you want this shield, right? Well, you can't just snap your fingers or make a pinky promise. There are some serious, non-negotiable hoops you have to jump through. Let's look at the formalities.
It's a two-step dance, and you gotta know both moves. First, everyone signs and swears to this official document, the Certificate of Limited Co-Partnership. Think of it as your team's constitution. Then, and this is the big one, you have to file it with the SEC. Why? Because you're basically announcing to the world, hey everyone, just so you know, these people right here have limited liability. If you don't file it, it's like the announcement never happened.
And here it is, the classic LCPA trap question. Seriously, you're going to see this. So what happens if you do everything right, you sign the paperwork, you put in your cash, but you forget that one crucial step, filing with the SEC? What's the damage?
Boom, there it is. If you don't file, the law basically says, sorry, that limited partnership you thought you had, it doesn't exist. To everyone else, especially creditors, you're just a general partnership. And you know what that means? Poof. Your liability shield is gone, vanished. You are now fully on the hook for everything.
All right, congrats, you did the paperwork right. You're officially in the game as a limited partner. But now you have to stay in the game. To keep that shield, you gotta play by the rules. So let's open up the playbook.
Rule number 1, and this is a big one, so listen up. Your contribution as a limited partner can only be one of two things: cash or property. That's it. You cannot contribute your services, your skills, your industry, as the law calls it. Why? Well, the deal is you provide capital, not labor. The moment you start providing labor, you're starting to look a whole lot like a general partner, and that's when things get risky.
Okay, next rule, the surname rule. This one's all about what's in a name. The law gets really specific here, basically to make sure nobody gets confused about who's who in the partnership.
So the general rule is don't put your last name in the partnership name. Simple, right? But of course, there are a couple of exceptions. Your name can be there if a general partner has the same last name. Makes sense. Or if the business was already using your name before you became a limited partner. Outside of those two very specific cases, keep your name off the sign.
Okay, now for the most important section. Pay attention. These are the big no-nos, the game over moves. If you do any of these things, that liability shield you worked so hard for, it shatters instantly.
I mean, look at this quote right from the law. It doesn't mess around. It says, you shall be liable as if he is a general partner. There's no slap on the wrist, no try again later. The punishment is swift and severe. You are treated like a general partner with all the unlimited liability that comes with it.
So how do you remember these fatal flaws for the exam? Here's your study hack, your secret weapon. Just remember the acronym NIC. That's NIC. It stands for name, industry, and control. Burn this into your brain. Let's go through them one by one.
First up, N is for name. We just talked about this. If you break this surname rule, you're essentially putting up a misleading sign for creditors. They might see your name and think, oh, they're a general partner. My money is safe. And the law says if you give that impression, you've got to own the liability that comes with it.
Next, I is for industry. This one's a bright red line. Remember, you contribute cash or property, not services. The second you contribute your professional skills or labor, you've crossed that line. You've stopped being a passive investor, and bam, the shield is gone. No questions asked.
And finally, C is for control. And honestly, this is the big one. This is the trap that people fall into all the time. Your whole job as a limited partner is to be a silent passive investor. The moment you start acting like a manager, hiring people, making big decisions, signing contracts, you are taking part in control. And if you act like the boss, well, the law is going to make you liable like the boss.
All right, we've gone through a lot, so let's boil it all down into one single cheat sheet. This is the slide you'll want to screenshot, memorize, and dream about before the LECPA.
Okay, let's do a quick fire round. Formation, you got to file with the SEC, or you're a general partnership, period. Contribution, cash or property only. No services. The shield, it keeps your personal assets safe. How do you lose it? Remember NIC. Mess up your name, contribute industry, or take control. And the consequence? You get unlimited liability. Know this slide inside and out, and you're golden.
So I'm going to leave you with this puzzle to think about. You're the silent investor, right? But the general partners really respect your opinion, and they ask for your advice in a huge meeting. So, where's the line? When does giving your expert opinion become taking control? That's where the textbook ends and the real world begins. Figuring that out is what separates the students from the CPAs.